So when I was just a wee little lad, I played a game called Counter-Strike. And I've played that game since it was just in beta. And there was literally no recoil. There was only a few weapons and a few maps. But I played that game, and as it grew and became the biggest game in the world, I played it competitively. And to the point where I would skip school just to make matches. It was bad. It was an addiction. But saying all that to say, I found solace and fun in Day of Defeat. It was just faster and grittier and more chaotic. Something about World War II games ever since that have captivated me. And of course, soon after Day of Defeat, the Half-Life 2 engine came out, and they made Day of Defeat Source. Not much changed with Source. It was still your super twitchy, chaotic World War II shooter that everybody had grown to love, except it had a new paint job, really, with the Half-Life 2 engine. Now, I went back to get this footage, and I gotta tell you, this game, even 1.3, 20-year-old game, still has players. I think there were 100 concurrent players at the time. But something was happening. There was the people who made Insurgency, which Insurgency was almost like Counter-Strike, but more realistic. They decided to make a World War II shooter, and it was like an homage to Day of Defeat, if you will, except, of course, more realistic. You had to aim down sights, the time to kill was jacked up, you could call in off-map fire support and ordnance. So unlike Day of Defeat Source, this really was an evolution of the World War II multiplayer games we were all loving. This was something new and realistic. And of course now we have games like Post-Scriptum, which is taking it even to the next level. But what this video is about is this new game. It's going to take us into a time warp, if you will. Back to the days of DoD 1.3. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Days of War. So if Days of Infamy was an homage to DoD, but with realism and all that, this would just be a straight homage to DoD. And I'm not even talking about Source. This is more, it's even closer to me, it's closer to 1.3, the classic original Half-Life mod, Day of Defeat, just with a new paint job. I mean, it plays almost exactly the same. And that's not a bad thing. There's a reason why people are still playing DoD Classic to this day, 20 years later. If you're a fan of the classic Call of Duties and Medal of Honors, I think you'll also get a real big kick out of this one. Now, the reason I think a lot of people are being skeptical is a couple years back, they released and had a very horrible launch. Driven Arts being only a 4-man studio, they had to fall back and recuperate. And recuperate they did. But yeah, if you're a fan of these old classic Call of Duty and Medal of Honor type games, especially if you're a fan of Day of Defeat, the original, come support these devs, man. They deserve it, man. It's only 4 guys working on this game, and they're working their butts off. And I promise you, if this game can survive just a year or so, the modding kids will get in here and make all kind of crazy stuff. That's what I'm here for. I'm that guy who was obsessed with DoD Charlie. Beachhead landings were impossible odds. Most kids hated that. They wanted even playing field. I'm the guy who loved those maps. Hill Classic, DoD Hill Classic. I love those crazy maps. And we will get them if this game can survive long enough to support a modding scene. So support these guys. I mean, check it out. They've already got several maps from the old DoD games in here. I mean, look, this is what looks like Flash, where the Brits face off against the Germans in that small map, but small, hectic, fun map. And then, of course, the orange maps everybody loves. They got several of the orange maps. That's the one with the tower in the middle. I'm sure it's probably just converted from DoD's Source. I don't know how they did it exactly. There's the first orange map. And then DoD Saints. DOW Saints here. I guess they just converted it into the Unreal Engine. Not sure exactly how they do it. I wish I knew anything about modding. Harrington. DoD Harrington was a huge custom map. That's going to be a fan favorite. So, I mean, we've already got tons of these maps in here. But yeah, with time, I can't wait to see what modders do with this game, man. This game's just gotta survive. So if you're asking, what's the player base like? Well, it's not going to be very good if you don't buy it, duh. No, I'm just joking. So the only real difference from DoD 1.3 is that there is progression. As you can see here, as you rank up, you get new weapons. There's a Uver. We're going to go ahead and check them all out. That's probably one of my favorites right there. The double barrel shotgun, the early war SMG. And they get the Mauser too. Every faction has the same set of knives, but you get some cool knives. The Bowie, the dress knives, the K-bar, the spade, and the M33. Support class, we have the FG42 is what you unlock after of course, the MP44 or STG44. That FG42 is awesome. I love that. Gewehr scoped for the sniper. And the machine gunner unlocks the MG34 later on, after the 42, of course. And the only rocket for the Germans is the Panzerschreck. Alright, now heading over to the Americans, starting with the Rifleman. Of course, he starts with the M1 Garand. And then the next weapon he unlocks is, what is this? The 1941? Put in the comments. My favorite, the carbine. Of course, it usually sucks in most games, but it's great in Post-Scriptum. And then, of course, finally, the Springfield you unlock at rank 53. But yeah, I love that M1 carbine. That's probably one of my favorite weapons. The pistols for the Americans, they just unlock a revolver at 29, rank 29. And again, every faction has the same knives. We get a rifle grenade with the Rifleman class. Really cool stuff. And then the assault class, you start with a Thompson, and then you unlock the grease gun. That's the only one I've gotten so far. I'm rank 8. You get the trench gun and then a sawed-off shotgun. The support, of course, is just the bar. Sniper, you get the M1 Garand scoped at rank 64. We're trying to go through this quickly. You unlock the bar with the bipod. I don't know why they didn't do that. I wish the support class had the bipod also. I don't understand that. But anyway, the sniper or the rocket, we just get a bazooka and that's it. Now for the British, starting with the Riflemen, start the Lee Enfield, and again a new weapon I've never seen before. The De Lisle carbine. Put in the comments if you know what that is. I have no idea. I've never seen it. Wellrod at rank 29, the one-shot pistol. Again, every faction has the same knives. The Mills grenade they get. Let's look at the assault class. Start with the Sten, then you get the Sterling, then the Thompson. The Thompson for the British has a freaking drum on it. How cool is that? And a long barrel shotgun finally at rank 57. Assault class is brutal. Support, Bren. That's all they get. Sniper, start with the Lee Enfield, and then again this crazy looking weapon. Look at the size of that barrel. If anybody knows anything about that, put it in the comments. It's the first I've seen it. British machine gunner starts with the Lewis gun, of course, and then gets, again, the Bren. I wish the support class had a bipod. Who knows? Maybe that'll change. Of course, they get the Piat. Now for the Russians, finally the Russians starts with the Mosin Nagant, goes to the SVT-40. Pistols, goes to a revolver, and then a silenced revolver at rank 58. And it'll take a while to get, but how cool is that? Assault class, start with the PP S43 and go to the psh. The psh. Sorry if I hurt your ears. And then, of course, support. At rank 55, you get the AVT 40. These are single-shot rifles, but they're very, very powerful. Unlike the other support classes for the other factions, there's automatic weapons. I think I like the Russian support even better, really. Alright, and then the Mosin Nagant scoped, and then, of course, the semiotic SVT-40 scoped. Machine gunner. He actually gets something new, an RPD with a bipod. Man, it looks like present-day weaponry, doesn't it? Well, I'm sure they still use it. It must have been a late war weapon. And finally, the Russians have the Panzer Faust. Alright, anyway, that's all the progression and loadouts, as they call it. Real quick, just something I noticed. In DoD, you would always press L 2 or 3 times to zoom your map out. The function is there, add and subtract, zoom map out, but it's not working. I guess it's glitched right now, so hopefully they fix that soon. Another quick little piece of information. Back in DoD 1.3, you would have to throw the grenade on the ground to cook it, pick it up, and then throw it. So I was going to see if it was like that, so I held it down, and yeah, the grenades cook. So the more you know. In all honesty, there really isn't a whole lot to complain about here. So, I mean, if you're into the old school classic shooters, Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, of course, Day of Defeat, definitely pick this up. It's a spitting image of Day of Defeat with a brand new paint job. Anyway, before I go, I want to show you this cool little Easter egg I found on the map Cathedral. And it's kind of an homage to Post-Scriptum's latest Chapter 3 teaser. I don't know if you saw that, but it was just a picture of a piano with troops running by. And we found out that it's a scene from Band of Brothers. So we're pretty much certain that we are headed to Normandy in Chapter 3 Post-Scriptum. But yes, this piano is playable. Check it out. Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Anyway, so yeah, if you're a fan of Day of Defeat or Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, any of these classic World War II shooters, definitely give this game a try. You keep under 2 hours of gameplay and you can return it if you don't like it. But yeah, it's just a 4-man development team. They deserve our support, and I can really see this game going somewhere once modders get their hands on it. Also, do you like this more informative style video? I'm not really used to doing stuff like this. It's usually gameplay and cinematics. If so, man, drop a like, subscribe maybe even. I plan on doing more stuff like this. If not, let me know in the comments. Tell me I suck and I should stick to gameplay. I'm not even really good at shooting shit anyway. But I guess until next time, I will see you on the flip side. Thanks for watching.